If you can't balance on one leg for just 10 seconds, studies show your risk of serious health problems skyrockets in the years ahead. That's only one of 8 hidden signs I'm going to share with you today. These aren't random trivia. They are measurable, science-backed clues about how quickly your body is aging and how much healthy life you may have left. And here's the good news. For almost every sign, there are simple, proven ways to reverse the decline and regain strength, energy, and independence. Stay with me until the very end, because the last sign is the one most people, even many doctors, overlook. Yet it's often the earliest warning of future decline, and it's surprisingly easy to fix. If you catch it now, I'm Dr. Eli Morgan. I've spent more than 3 decades working with older adults, guiding them through the challenges and victories of aging. And today, I want to share the 8 signs I check most often with my own patients, the very same ones that can give you a glimpse into your future health, and more importantly, the tools to shape it. Section 1. Balance, the 10-second test that could save your life. In a large international study of adults over 60, researchers discovered that those who struggled to stand on one leg for just 10 seconds faced a far higher risk of falls, fractures, and even early death in the following decade. Balance is not a trivial skill. It reflects the power of your muscles, the coordination of your nervous system, and even the health of your heart and circulation. Daniel, a retired teacher in his 70s, never gave balance a thought until he stumbled in his kitchen and fractured his wrist. Meanwhile, his friend Rosa, the same age, makes Tai Chi a part of her morning ritual. When she slipped on a wet sidewalk last winter, her body corrected itself before she hit the ground. 2 people of the same age, but 2 very different results, all because of their ability to stay steady. When you lift one leg, your brain, inner ear, and stabilizing muscles must work in perfect harmony. If your ankles are weak, your reflexes are slow, or your brain signals aren't firing quickly, the system falters. That's why balance is so revealing. It is a snapshot of how well your entire body is aging together. The encouraging news is that balance can improve at any age. Start by trying the 10-second test near a wall or chair for safety. If it feels shaky, add daily exercises like heel-to-toe walking across the room, side leg lifts while brushing your teeth, or even a few minutes of Tai Chi. Just 5 minutes a day retrains the nervous system and strengthens the small muscles that protect you from falling. And if you already use a cane or walker, you can still practice safely with support and make meaningful progress. Now pause for a moment and try it yourself. Were you able to last 10 seconds? Comment the word balance below so we can see how many of us are working on this vital skill together. Section 2, grip strength, the hidden measure of vitality. Most people don't realize that the strength of your hands can reveal the strength of your entire body. Research has repeatedly shown that weaker grip is linked to lower muscle mass, slower recovery from illness, and even shorter life expectancy. Your hands may be small, but they are one of the best mirrors of overall health. Consider Martin, a grandfather who once loved woodworking. He noticed one day that he could no longer tighten the screws on a chair without help. At first, he brushed it off as normal aging, but within a year, he struggled with everyday tasks, opening jars, carrying groceries, even shaking hands firmly. Meanwhile, his neighbor Lillian, who also turned 70, began a simple routine of resistance band exercises and short walks with hand weights. Not only did her grip improve, but she also reported better posture and more confidence when climbing stairs. Why does grip matter so much? Your hands are connected to some of the largest muscle groups in your body. A weak squeeze often means those muscles are shrinking too, a process called sarcopenia. This doesn't just affect strength, it impacts balance, metabolism, and even how well your heart pumps blood. The positive news is that improving grip is easier than many think. You can start with a stress ball or a rolled up towel, squeezing for 10 seconds at a time. Add in simple moves like carrying shopping bags instead of using a cart, or performing light farmer's walks with household items. Combine this with eating enough protein in about 1 to 1.2 grams per kilogram of body weight daily, and your muscles have the fuel to rebuild. Even a few minutes a day makes a real difference. So here's your challenge. Find a jar in your kitchen and try opening it without extra tools. Was it harder than you expected? If yes, it's time to start strengthening. Type the word GRIP in the comments, and let's track how many of us are committed to regaining strength. Section 3. Walking speed, the everyday predictor of longevity. Doctors used to rely only on blood tests or heart scans to measure aging, but one of the most powerful indicators is something you do every day: the speed at which you walk. Research shows that older adults who naturally move faster tend to live longer, stay independent, and recover more quickly from illness or surgery. In fact, walking pace has been called the sixth vital sign. Think about Evelyn, who is 72. She takes a brisk morning walk around her block, finishing her route in under 10 minutes. Her neighbor Paul, the same age, strolls the same distance but takes nearly twice as long, pausing often to catch his breath. A year later, Evelyn can still climb stairs without holding the rail, while Paul avoids long outings because he fears slowing everyone else down. The difference is not age itself. It's the pace at which their bodies move. Why does speed matter? Walking requires your heart, lungs, muscles, and brain to work together. A steady, confident pace shows that oxygen is moving efficiently through the body and that your muscles and nerves are keeping up. When walking slows dramatically, it can signal early cardiovascular strain, declining muscle strength, or even subtle changes in brain function. Here's how you can check yourself. Mark out a distance of about 15 feet or 5 meters in your home or yard. Use a stopwatch or your phone timer and walk it at your normal pace. If it takes much longer than 6 to 7 seconds, it's a sign your stride may be slowing. The fix doesn't have to be complicated. Daily brisk walks, gentle interval training like alternating slow and faster steps, or simply choosing stairs instead of elevators can all help rebuild speed. So don't wait until you notice yourself falling behind others. Test your pace today, write down your time, and repeat the same test every month. If you found this eye-opening, type PACE in the comments, and let's see who's keeping their stride strong. Section 4. Sleep quality, the nighttime signal of your future health. We often treat poor sleep as just an inconvenience, but science shows it may be one of the clearest signs of how your body is aging. Studies link disrupted sleep to faster memory decline, higher risk of heart disease, weaker immunity, and even shortened lifespan. Missing a night or two is normal, but when restless nights become routine, they whisper a warning that should never be ignored. Consider Janet, who often wakes up at 3 a.m. and struggles to drift back to sleep. She tells herself she's just getting older, but her daytime fatigue makes her skip exercise and rely on extra coffee. Contrast that with Miguel, also in his 70s, who protects his bedtime like an appointment. He dims the lights, avoids screens after dinner, and keeps a cool, quiet bedroom. Miguel wakes refreshed, while Janet feels drained, and the health gap between them widens every month. Why does this matter so much? Deep sleep is when your brain clears waste proteins, your heart rate steadies, and your body repairs tissue. Without it, stress hormones rise, blood sugar regulation falters, and memory suffers. In older adults, even modest sleep loss can accelerate conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, and cognitive decline. The good news is that sleep habits can be retrained. Start with a simple checklist. Keep a consistent bedtime Avoid caffeine after 2 p.m., dim the lights an hour before bed, and keep your room cool and dark. Gentle evening routines like stretching, prayer, or slow breathing can calm the nervous system. And if you or your partner notice loud snoring, choking sounds, or extreme daytime sleepiness, don't dismiss it. Those may be signs of sleep apnea, a condition that needs medical attention. Tonight, take a moment to prepare your body for rest rather than just collapsing into bed. A small change in routine can add years of sharper mornings and stronger health. If better sleep is something you're ready to work on, comment the word sleep below. And let's support each other in making rest a priority. Section 5. Appetite and nutrition. When losing interest in food becomes a warning sign. A fading appetite is often brushed aside as just aging, but in reality, it can be one of the earliest signals of hidden health problems. Research shows that older adults who unintentionally lose more than 5% of their body weight in 6 months are at significantly higher risk for falls, hospitalizations, and even reduced survival. When your plate stays full, your strength slowly empties. Take Helen, a lively 75-year-old who began skipping meals because nothing tastes good anymore. Within months, she lost muscle. Her clothes hung loose, and climbing stairs left her short of breath. Across town, her friend Arthur, also in his 70s, noticed the same issue, but he responded differently. With his doctor's guidance, he added protein smoothies, used herbs and spices to revive flavor, and made a habit of eating with his grandchildren. Instead of losing weight, he stabilized and regained energy for daily walks. Here's why appetite matters. Food is not just fuel, it's medicine. Protein builds muscle, vitamins repair cells, and regular meals maintain stable blood sugar. When eating declines, so does resilience against illness, infection, and frailty. Loss of appetite can also be a sign of underlying issues like dental problems, side effects from medication, or even depression, all worth addressing with a professional. The good news? You can take practical steps starting today. Aim for at least 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight daily. That might mean adding eggs at breakfast, Greek yogurt as a snack, or beans and fish at dinner. If cooking feels burdensome, try easy, ready-to-eat options like cottage cheese, hummus, or nut butters. Eating with others, whether family or neighbors, can also reignite the desire for food and companionship. And if you've noticed weight loss without trying, bring it up with your doctor right away. So before pushing your plate aside, ask yourself, is this just lack of hunger, or is my body asking for help? If you've ever felt your appetite slipping, type food in the comments, because together we can remind each other that eating well is not indulgence, it's survival. Section 6. Stress resilience, the silent accelerator of aging. It's not just disease or diet that wears us down, it's the way our bodies respond to daily stress. Long-term stress floods the bloodstream with cortisol, raises blood pressure, weakens the immune system, and accelerates the very processes of aging. The difference between thriving and declining often comes down to how well you recover after life's inevitable challenges. Consider Marjorie, who cares for her husband with Parkinson's disease. She noticed that constant worry made her shoulders ache, her sleep restless, and her mood sink. Over time, she became physically exhausted. Contrast that with Howard, a fellow caregiver in the same support group. He still faces daily struggles, but he practices 10 minutes of slow breathing each morning, takes short walks in the park, and talks openly with friends. His stress doesn't disappear, but his body and mind don't collapse under its weight. This matters because chronic stress does not stay confined to the mind. It creates a chain reaction. Inflammation increases, digestion slows, memory falters, and even small illnesses hit harder. In older adults, stress resilience is often the dividing line between maintaining independence and sliding into frailty. But here's the good news. Resilience is a trainable skill. Start with 1 minute of slow, deliberate breathing. Inhale for 4 counts. Exhale for 6. This simple rhythm calms the nervous system and lowers heart rate. Add daily rituals like journaling gratitude, practicing gentle stretching, or spending time in nature. If feelings of hopelessness or persistent anxiety are overwhelming, that is not a personal failure. It's a signal to seek professional help, just as you would for chest pain or infection. Now take a deep breath with me. Inhale and exhale. Notice how even one cycle can soften tension? Imagine what a few minutes each day could do for your future health. If stress has been a challenge in your life, comment the word calm below. Let's make resilience not just a concept, but a daily habit. Section 7. Social connections, the longevity medicine no pill can replace. One of the strongest predictors of long life isn't hidden in a blood test. It's found in your relationships. People with close social ties live longer, recover faster from illness, and are less likely to suffer from depression or dementia. Isolation, on the other hand, can harm the body as much as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. Think about Ruth, who lost her husband 5 years ago. She slowly stopped attending church, skipped her book club, and now spends most evenings alone with the television. Her health began to slip. More colds, lower energy, less motivation to cook or exercise. Compare that with Henry, her old classmate who also lost his spouse but chose a different path. He joined a local walking group, calls his grandchildren twice a week, and volunteers at the library. The difference in their vitality is striking. The reason is simple. Human connection protects both body and brain. Meaningful conversations release hormones that reduce stress. Group activities keep the mind active, and companionship encourages healthier behaviors. Loneliness, in contrast, fuels inflammation, weakens immunity, and accelerates decline. The good news is you don't need dozens of friends to see benefits. Even a handful of strong relationships can transform your health. Start a 7-day challenge. Reach out to 3 people you haven't spoken to in a while, join one community group, and share at least one meal with someone else. If getting out feels hard, begin with a phone call or video chat. Even hearing a familiar voice makes a difference. So here's your reminder. The next time you hesitate to pick up the phone, think of it as medicine for your future. Strong social ties are as critical as exercise and diet. If you agree that relationships are life's real fountain of youth, type friends in the comments. And let's build a community that keeps each other strong. Section 8. Medications. When too many pills become a red flag. One of the least discussed but most revealing signs of aging is how many medications you take every day. Doctors call it polypharmacy, which means regularly using 5 or more prescriptions. While medicines can save lives, taking too many at once often signals underlying health problems. And the risks of drug interactions, dizziness, and even memory issues rise sharply. Consider James, age 78, who had accumulated 8 different prescriptions from 4 specialists. He began feeling lightheaded, fell in his bathroom, and ended up in the emergency room. After a full review, 2 of his drugs were no longer needed, and his symptoms improved almost overnight. Meanwhile, Clara, also in her late 70s, brings a complete medication list to every appointment. Her doctor checks for overlaps, adjusts doses, and encourages non-drug approaches like exercise and diet. She still needs some prescriptions, but she avoids the dangerous pileup that nearly harmed James. Why does this matter? As we age, the body processes drugs more slowly. What was safe at 60 may be risky at 80. Multiple medications can interact in hidden ways, causing confusion, low blood pressure, or kidney strain. Sometimes side effects from one drug are mistaken for new diseases, leading to even more pills, a cycle that quietly erodes independence. The good news: you don't have to face this alone. Create a simple list of every pill, supplement, and over-the-counter medicine you take and bring it to your primary doctor or pharmacist. Ask them, do I still need each of these? Are there safer alternatives? Never stop a prescribed medicine on your own, but do insist on a review. Small adjustments can mean clearer thinking, steadier walking, and fewer hospital visits. So take a few minutes this week to gather your bottles, write them down, and schedule that conversation. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by the number of pills on your table, type MEDS in the comments. Let's shine a light on this overlooked but critical sign of healthy aging. Now you've seen the 8 signs that reveal how well you're really aging. Your balance, your grip, your walking speed, the quality of your sleep, your appetite and nutrition, your ability to handle stress, your social connections, and the number of medications you rely on. Each one is like a dashboard light on the car of your body. Ignore them, and small issues can turn into breakdowns. Pay attention, and you can make adjustments that keep you running strong for years. Here's the most important lesson. None of these signs are fixed. Balance can be trained. Muscles can be rebuilt. Sleep can be improved. Stress can be eased. And connections can be rekindled. Even medications can be reviewed and simplified. Aging may be inevitable, but decline is not. With small daily actions, you have more control than you think. So I want to hear from you. Which sign spoke to you the most today? And what's one step you'll take this week to improve it? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story may inspire someone else who's watching right now. If this video gave you something valuable, please hit the like button, subscribe for more doctor-guided insights, and share it with someone you care about. And don't forget, I've placed a simple one-page checklist of all 8 signs in the description. Download it, print it, and use it to track your progress. Remember, the goal isn't just to add more years to your life. It's to add more life to your years. Let's choose to age not with fear, but with strength, independence, and joy.